In today's episode, we're going to be taking this ugly flat mountainside and turning it into an epic castle. Way back in episode 9 of this series, we tore down this entire mountain. And in the last episode, we dug into that mountain in order to make a storage room. But let's be honest, both the mountainside and the storage room, yeah, they don't look very good. So that is today's mission, to completely renovate the mountainside and make this area beautiful. But first, we're gonna need some materials. Yeah, that's that's not enough. Better. Nailed it. And the shulker boxes look like a dragonfly. That last part just kind of makes me happy. But this should now be most of the materials that we need for today's build, I hope. So I started this build by getting the entire castle laid out on the ground. So for the base layout of this castle, we're going to have quite a bit of different shapes. Tons of rectangles all overlapping together in order to make a very ornate castle. But that's just the base. As we go further up the mountain, we're also going to add in even more towers to add even more dynamics to this build. We still have quite a bit of building left to do. But another thing that I really want to point out is that this castle is not going to be all one color. As you can tell over here, we also have some calcite and some diorite thrown into the build, and then we also have some deep slate bricks and cobbled deep slate thrown into the build. My goal with this castle is to have 3 different colors: white, black, and gray. And I think that these colors are going to come together to make a really cool contrasting castle. So at this point, I started getting in the shape of the castle. That way I can get all of the towers to the right height, and I have a place to put the roofs in. So for the roofs of these towers, we are actually gonna get a little bit fancy here. This is a cone roof design that I absolutely love to use because it's so easy to make, but it looks so good once you get all of the detailing on it. Just a few more blocks, change out some of the trimming. Still not amazing, but we have a couple last pieces we can add. Down 1, up 1, down 1, up 1, down 1, up 1, down 1, make the corner, and up 1. So easy, this guy can do it. And for the last little bit of detail, I just like to follow the deep slate slabs and put a dark oak right above it on the block adjacent, just like this, and it adds a nice little darker pop of color. Ta-da! I missed a half slab on top. And boink! Now to make the others. So the great thing about that roof design is I can stretch it out to whatever size tower I'm working on, so I can have a uniform style across the entire castle. So I had this brilliant idea to get all of the normal blocks placed in for the roofs, and then do all of the trimming. And that was not a smart move. But it's all done now, and it looks absolutely awesome. I mean, it's a little bit hollow, I'll admit, but we can fix that. It's just a little drafty right now. But before we do that, I actually want to take a quick trip to the Nether. So creepy with shaders on, but I really want some more shroom lights. These just make for such a great block to throw around an area to get some nice, quick and easy light. That, in my opinion, is a lot better than torches. So these should go ahead and light up the inside of these towers for us so that we don't have any creeper surprises later on. So now is when the whole build really starts to come together, and as you can tell, this thing is looking sick. Oh, I can't wait to see this thing from afar. Dude, that thing looks so good. And we don't have all the detailing in yet, so as you can see, we are still missing windows and such, but we can fix that. We can definitely fix that. I am a bit concerned though, because the area out front is not incredibly large. So in order to remedy that and give us some more room to work in the future, I'm gonna shorten the river. And there we go. Much more room to work and much more room to play. So the very last thing that I still had left to do for the castle is get all of the detailing in. It has been so incredibly long since I've built a castle in Minecraft that this once again just feels so magical to me. But having the multiple contrasting colors was definitely a good call because all of the different towers definitely merged together to give this build a very unique feel. A very, very unique feel. My poor little starter hut. This was my first house that I built in this world, and now this thing is dwarfed. So like with all of the buildings that we have on the port, this does actually have a little bit of lore to it. And that is this building is going to be a currency exchange. Think of this kind of as a really, really impressive bank. I want people who come into the port to trade with the villagers of the city to be able to use the currency of the city. So they can go to the bank, trade out whatever currency they use in their kingdom for the currency used in this kingdom. I thought that this was a really unique idea and also kind of gave us a reason to build a castle. But this castle has definitely become a focal point of the port. This is something that's always going to stand out above all of the other builds, and I love that. It's kind of a government building, and then also kind of not. It's a bank building. We're going to have another bank building inside of the kingdom itself, inside of the city, but for right now, think of this as kind of a branch of the bank. And speaking of focal points, a lot of you guys have been asking for a lighthouse to be put over on this cliff here, kind of overlooking the entire port area. So I tell you what, I'll make you a deal. If you guys get this video to 1,000 likes, I will make the very next episode a lighthouse episode. This will be really impressive if you guys do it. So I think the next thing that I really need to work on is the interior for the storage room, because this area, it looks bad. And to be honest, I don't really have a plan on how to make this look better. Although, I do think that I like this height a little bit better. I was actually tearing that out to make a floor, but can I still reach these top chests? Okay, I gotta jump to reach the top one. Is that so bad? We're gonna do it. Now, I think it would only be appropriate for us to also make the interior pretty high in contrast. So dark oak is definitely going to be what the floor is. And then I think everything above this should probably be diorite and calcite. It's not bad, but I'd probably be lying if I said it was good. This still definitely needs some work. I really think one of the issues is that this area is just so flat. Maybe what I can do is bust out part of the roof here to give it more of like a dome shape. That should help, I hope. I just had a really, really good idea. I think we're just gonna have to get it in the whole way to see if this is actually gonna look good. You know, it is kind of funny that as good as I am about visualizing the exterior of builds, I'm absolutely terrible at visualizing the interior of build. All of us have our strengths and weaknesses in building, and my strength is definitely not interiors. And now to reveal my genius idea, soul lanterns. I definitely thought those were brighter. Yeah, that's gonna be one dark storage room, huh? Okay, well, since the soul lanterns were terrible, what about a little something like that? I ain't gonna lie, I'm still pretty ticked off about the soul lanterns. But hey, that is looking pretty okay. I can't be the only one that struggles with storage room designs, right? So I still really need a maintenance hatch, just in case we put anything into the system that ends up breaking it. So what I did was I just copied this design over to the other side, and if we just go ahead and hop up right here, nice little ladders to get us behind the scenes. But honestly, I'm not super upset with how this room came out looking. Is it my greatest work in the world? No. But for a work area, this is perfect. Nice, flat space, and plenty of chests. And for the entrance here, I haven't quite figured out what I want to do yet, because I still have these walls to get in for the interior, and honestly, I just don't know how this is going to end up shaking out. And with that, I think this is going to be where I wrap up for today's episode. We got a ton of work done, and honestly, I couldn't be happier with our progress. But that's it for me. I will see you guys in the next one.